he's in the UK right now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Author's Quill. We're kind of jumping off of one foot here because we seem to be having some issues with StreamYard today. I'm not exactly sure why, but some really kind of strange glitches. So we're about 14 minutes late. So I want to tell everyone thank you for hanging out and looking in. I see we haven't lost too many listeners so far, but tell your friends we're back. Tell them we're hanging out. All the YouTube pages are up. All the Rumble pages are up. So y'all can join us on any of those things as well. We're even actually on Twitch today. So if you're a twitchy, you can go get twitchy on Twitch. Before anybody asks, I know the Twitch people know who they are, but for the people who don't, they're a gaming network. So you can go sit and watch games, but a lot of times they'll be playing games and listening to us, which is kind of nice. Actually, I think they just like John's face. That's all. Not exactly sure what it is, but it is one of those things. We have Andrew Jackson.
All right. Hey, Andrew.
Andrew, every time I see your name, it just flips me out, man. Just
I understand.
You're just a war hero to the rest of us out there in the world. But welcome to the Author's Quill. You still over on the other side of the pond, huh? Hanging out, enjoying life over there.
Yeah, it's making.
He's experiencing the book just released now in UK this week. So he's already not only an international best-selling author, but he's also award-winning author now because we just won Volume 41 just won the National Fiction Award. So that was good for anthology.
Yes. We all been, really
the
last two.
Right, left, and center, Andrew.
Yeah. Really, John, y'all's last two books have been winning quite a few awards, haven't they? I mean, when we talk, I noticed they've been doing quite well. See, I'm the good luck charm. That's why. Anyway. So at least you're safe over there in the UK. There's not too many crazy people running around over there. I mean, not at the moment, I don't want to jinx you nothing because I know it can get radical over there. But books being well received. I notice everybody I talk to around the world really seems to enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot of good stories in it, a lot of fun stories in it. And then of course there's a lot of good artwork in it as well. Like this piece John's got up there.
L1. He's the author of Code L1. And it's L1 is a what now?
Well, the title. It's a sci-fi. Oh, Code L1 is a sort of sci-fi story with a touch of horror suspense to it. But yeah, the Code L1 is the sort of call sign of a planet with intelligent life. So that was where it came from.
I do a lot of research and stuff like that too.
Oh yeah.
That's a real thing? A real Code L1?
Oh no, I made that up.
Okay, it's an Andrew real thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, see,
it's an Andrew real thing for me. Yeah.
It might be a real thing one day. When you go back in the past and you look at sci-fi and you look at a lot of the words that are used today, they came from sci-fi.
That's right. That's right.
A friend of mine said, he was telling me about the guy who invented the laser. I said, really? I said, well, I got something for you. He said, what do you mean? I said, you keep going on and on about the guy who invented the laser. I said, let me show you why he invented the laser. And I sent him over an old Buck Rogers thing along with the guys, what he said made him invent the laser. He's like, really? I said, sci-fi makes people do. I mean, I was just listening to Jonathan Harp the other day. He's inventing the new bed. If you're in a hospital bed these days, they're pretty sophisticated, pretty smart. Well, this one looks a lot like the ones you see in Star Trek and does a lot of the same things. It has 27 scanners, including blood type, blood sugar, all sorts of things, weighs you. So now they don't have to have the nurse come around irritating you every 4 hours. They just look on the thing, which will be nice. But I mean, it's really nice to see that. So what you're writing, you never know what's going to come out of it. That's one of the most interesting things. So what made you decide to write this particular genre? Damn, I'm tongue tied. And what made you go with this type of story?
I think I was reading sort of a couple of authors like I really, really love, and they were both sort of playing with the themes of life after death and sort of more sort of choosing to sort of transcend to another level of being, and then sort of Also, why is intelligent life potentially so rare? Like, why haven't we seen anything by now? And I just sort of came together with the sort of nature walking out in the country, and that's where the setting came from, I guess. The trees in the forest world, and it will just sort of, it's one of those things that just sort of that clicks. It happens to me like once every 2 or 3 years. It's very rare, but it's not, the story just is there, it comes out, and I don't even have to think too hard.
No,
Yeah,
that's
that's also the Fermi paradox that you based it around too. That was part of your story or part of your
Um,
inspiration.
it was because I was
I
I
just
was
read
trying to
your
think.
answer to the science fiction article coming out. So I just finished reading it and forwarding it on, and you talked about the Fermi paradox.
Yeah, yes, it's the sort of the idea that the universe is so ancient and we should have seen something by now. We should have seen some sign of life travel. We should possibly even have been visited. But there's no sort of sign we have. So people will, say, well, maybe there is nothing. But
but you know
I like to
when
think
people say that, you should always tell them, look in the mirror.
that yes. No, I like to believe and dream, of course, and I'm no great scientist, but yeah, I just can't believe it. So I suppose I like to think the idea of it wouldn't be life necessarily as we know it. Who's to say they discover space travel? They might wipe themselves out first, or they might find it an entirely different method. They may never think about it, and that's sort of the civilization in my story. They never really got there.
It just happened.
I don't know. Did you finish your major thoughts there, Andrew?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, you just looked like sound like you dropped. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it's interesting. You're talking to Joe, which is like the top ufologist in the United States, and
But
so
I was thinking when he was bringing that story up, just recently, James Webb shot a beam through some planets and found on two different planets. This is very interesting stuff. So one of the planets they shot through with its microcarbons and a couple of other things that here on Earth can only be made by machines.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So,
Yeah.
so they're thinking this is like 50s, 60s. And then recently they found another one that has advanced hydrocarbons on it that generally, now I'm using the word generally, are only made by life. Now, they didn't have to be intelligent life, just life. So it does look like they found at least two planets. And then recently, and I said this for 30 years, you can't have carbon and oxygen on Mars without life. Finally, NASA goes, you know what? We're pretty sure there's life on Mars now because they have a cycle where there's a methane plume every so often. Methane's usually made by life, usually decaying life, plants and stuff decaying. So they're pretty sure now that there's life probably on 3 or 4 places on Mars. Now, when I say life, people, I don't want you writing to us and saying, oh, it's the green aliens. It's probably a nematode or a bacteria, some type of plant of something. I mean, we've noticed now that the ice caps, when they recede, there's a big bloom of black up there, and then when they grow, it shrinks, suggesting there's probably some type of fungus or mold growing up there. And if there is, that would suggest there's probably some type of life living underneath it. I don't know. It's very interesting stuff to see. It's all good stuff to write a book about, though, man.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
we went to the planet to find life, and oh my God, we found something we shouldn't have. You just I don't know. It's good stuff, though. And when science starts getting as good as science fiction, it's always fun. I got to say, it always is. But I mean, really, truly, I know I've asked you this question before, but we always have new listeners. What was it that really said, okay, Andrew, I'm walking through life, and you said, okay, I'm going to write, but I'm not just going to write. I'm going to write about sci-fi or fantasy. What was it? I mean, there had to be something that kicked you in the butt and got you rolling, for lack of a better way of saying it.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Didn't start off writing sci-fi when I was younger, but I read a lot of it and I watched a lot of it. I watched a lot of Star Trek growing up with my dad, and Star Wars more minimally, but yeah, it was primarily Star Trek that got me into it. And back then, I thought it was the pinnacle of sci-fi. It was hard sci-fi. It was the sort of king. Obviously, I've read a lot since then and changed my mind, but the nostalgia and the sort of fun sense of it never really went away. So I always wanted to explore a civilization or a that sort of genre, and I think that's what got me going. And then I read a lot of Stephen King sort of growing up as well. So I think a lot of my early pieces were sort of sci-fi, horror, Alien as well was a massive influence for me. Going, you can really see the parallel there. A bunch of people go to a planet, things go wrong very quickly when they find something they didn't expect to.
So that makes sense, that as a spark there, Alien, because that was intense. It's funny, I mean, I used to like, horror flicks up until maybe mid high school or so, and then I just got to where um, I didn't. There was this one that I saw that was like, okay, I'm done, and so it was
Yeah, yeah,
because it was just horror, but it was evil horror, and I was just like, no, I know that you get that type of thing. Like Alien is that's just a whole different release, a whole different set of morality and everything else. So you can kind of like justify that, because why does everything have to be human sensibility? Because it won't be.
yeah.
But
It's true. That's a really good point. When all my friends always telling me about aliens this, aliens that, and I said, "No, why the hell you think they think like us?"
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, really, what? I mean, we're kind of unique. I mean, we don't even think like us on our own damn planets. What is it? 198 countries now. We don't even think like us. So why would you expect the aliens to? Have you seen Altered Carbon? Now,
I think I
I don't
saw the
push it.
first few episodes.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. I don't push it a lot. I mean, it's great sci-fi. It really is all good alien stuff. They invent this thing. They put you back that if you die, makes a carbon copy. What makes a copy of your consciousness? It's great sci-fi, but the problem is it's not sci-fi for anyone under the age of 21. Really, anyone under there's a lot of cursing, a lot of nudity, a lot of sex. I almost didn't watch it because I got a rule: if I see TNA in the very first episode, I usually won't watch it because usually it's just going to be one of those shows that's just not worth watching. But both in The Expanse and in Altered Carbon, they got off to that kind of start, but both of them turned out to be good series. Which The Expanse surprised me too. I didn't. It had a rough, shaky start when it started, but both of them turned out to be really good. And the thing of it is, for someone like you, there is a big, big, big thirst for sci-fi, and even worse than that, since you're in the UK right now, they're looking for someone who can actually write Doctor Who and make it a legit Doctor Who. So, well, because I mean, right now they said they're taking a hiatus because they've had a rocky 4 or 5 years for some reason, but they're
well,
looking to change. Yeah, well, they got off in a crazy place they shouldn't have went. Doctor Who's not exactly a DEI show, so they shouldn't have went there, but now they are. I was listening to them the other night talking about they're looking for writers that can bring in a different approach or a different view. I'm sure they're going to put a good writing team together, but they're talking about being off for a couple of years, so you never know what's going on there. Netflix, I got a good friend at Netflix. He's always trying to get me to write something. I'm not a writer. They're constantly they're getting to this point. Them and Hulu are getting to this point where they want to give people money just to write stuff because they're falling behind with the competition. They're getting so many viewers, but they can't produce really good new material. They're producing material that's just really most of it. None of the three of us wouldn't even watch. You'd probably go right through it. So I'm just things you might think about because I know everybody's looking to make a career and make some money, and I'd like to see Andrew Jackson underneath the credits on the TV. Oh, I know him. The stuff like that. But I mean, what are you working? You working on anything right now?
It's been a bit slower since I got back because I sort of jumped straight back into life and I've got family and work and everything. But
Yes.
I have been writing a little bit. Submitted a new sort of flash fiction the other day. Yeah, I've written about 3 pieces since coming back, and I've just slowly been chipping away, editing them. I've got a few things I need to get back to. I've got like a novella I want to revisit, especially since one of my classmates from the Hollywood, Lauren, she read it, the opening, said it was great, and I had to go back to it, so I will try that in the next couple of months.
Well, I mean, get out there because I mean the story was good, and and I know it's hard to get out because I understand life. When I first opened the station, if somebody said, "How are you going to make it work?" I said, "I'm not. I'm just going to have 4 or 5 shows because I have 2 other careers besides this one." Now that I'm sort of retired, it's giving me more time to mess around with things. But still, it's kids, wives, money, daily jobs, bosses.
Yeah.
It's hard. I mean, I understand. I mean, it's hard to, and then it's not. And you can speak to this, but for me, it was always hard. It wasn't so much the work and all that. It was getting my mindset into that when I got home. It's too much other stuff was running through my head. Whatever job I did that day, whatever the wife was after, whatever the kids were after, it was just hard to sit down for me and think about stuff I wanted to do because all that other junk, I shouldn't say junk, but all that other stuff was in my head. So, I mean, how do you cope with that? I mean, I know it's not easy. So you get away, children, go in the closet.
No, unfortunately, I can't do that. But I do try and find my slots, so I sort of try and wake up early before everyone else, have my coffee, get working. That generally works. I get a couple of hours in, and then life wakes up around you, and you've got to keep going. But I do, yeah, I'm managing to find my slots and get back into it. I'm trying to prioritize a bit more now. Now I've had this sort of success and opportunity. I'm trying to push on with it.
I know there's a big sci-fi community in England. I didn't realize how big until a couple of years ago, but it's bigger than I thought it was. I mean, I knew there was always Doctor Who and all kind of other stuff like that, but it seemed like the cultures over there has changed a little bit and has gotten a little bit more sci-fi. They've always seemed to have a big sense of fantasy, but I think that's just because of the rich history of England and Britain and the whole European continent, for that matter. I mean, y'all have 2,000 years of history where we have 200 years. So it's a little bit different, so y'all have other things and fairies and little people. So there's other stuff to get involved with there. But I mean, you ever just go sit out somewhere and just try to write somewhere? I mean, get out the house and go sit somewhere. Sorry about that. The burglar alarm.
No. Sorry. Yes, I do sometimes. I like to sort of sit out, and I struggle to write longhand. I always need to sort of sit down with the laptop to write properly, but I like to make notes as I go. I think about my story throughout the day, and I'll sit down and scribble out a few bits, things I might want to think about later. And I can always pull it up on my phone and edit a little bit here and there as well. So I can do a little bit on the go. And then when I get my full sort of session time to sit down, I get all my notes together, and then I try and put it all on paper.
It's so go ahead, John.
So I'm just curious now. So we're 2 months after Hollywood. So with that perspective of 2 months, what do you have now? What do you bring back with you that seems the most impactful with anything that's settled now? Because everything was just like, oh my gosh, so much stuff. But anything that's not settling out for you now more than others?
I think self-belief, the belief that I can actually do it. I think going was very surreal. Being there was wonderful, and coming back, it was. After a few weeks, it sinks in that it actually happened, and that you're there because you're there on merit. You're not there for anything else. And
Right.
yeah, so it was a sort of belief that I can actually make a career out of this, and I can get my name out there and get on bookshelves, because I'm doing it now already.
Yes, I want to see it say Sir Andrew.
Wow, that's some way off, but yes.
Hey, look! I'm going to say Picard could do it. Patrick Stewart did it. I'm sorry. And wait, what was the James Bond guy? He did it too.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery. Yeah, sorry, couldn't get it. I'm going James Bond guy. You know how many James Bonds there's been now, but I
That's fair, yeah.
but nobody else has done it. So I mean, you never know, man.
Were any of the judges more that you resonated with better than others? Because you had a whole passel full of judges there to teach you.
Yeah, it was I mean everyone had such wonderful advice and very, very conflicting advice. It was one of my favorite things was listening to sort of Tim Powers contradict other judges. And it was
It's one of my favorites
my
too.
favorite part. Yeah, Jodie Lanai was wonderful, especially with me, because I was having a real crisis of faith, the 24-hour short story. I got a little way in, hated it, fell asleep, came down to the lobby, everyone was gone, and then she was there, and we just had a chat, and she sort of really sort of lifted me up and got me back and sat me down again in front of the screen, and there we go. She was wonderful. Orson Scott Card was so very both erudite and hilarious. He was he made us all laugh. He was really
Yeah. He's very funny.
yeah.
He loves
yeah,
the contest.
he's
He's
great.
been around since I guess year 2, and he totally loves the contest and what it's done for science fiction. And he sees nothing is done as much for science fiction and fantasy as the Writers of the Future contest.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was saying that the treatment we get there is second to none, and we won't get it again. And I believe it. Not in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny
Well,
when
John and them put a higher standard out there. I was talking with somebody just recently. I was thinking about going to Colorado. They got some little book thing going up there, and I was talking to the guy, and I'm like, I mean, John and them really set the bar kind of high for some of these other companies who want to get into this. But when I talk to them about it and I tell them what they're doing, they're like, oh, well, how do they do that? I said, well, I mean, L. Ron Hubbard pays for it. I said, but still, and Galaxy Press pays for it too. But it's, I said, guys, I said, if you're going to really do it right, maybe you should pay attention to what they're doing over there. I said, look, he said, well, who's not going to like the competition? I said, he's not even going to worry about Jala's competition. I said, I don't think they actually have any competition, to be honest with you. And I said, because I had a crisis of faith when I met John, whether this was real or not. And it took him a little while to convince me, but it's easy for me now when I'm speaking to other people, and when people ask me to go somewhere, I said, well, I'm expecting to see X amount now when I go in. See, before I met John, I was kind of used to these guys who were doing, oh, we'll give them $500 and then they have to pay X amount of money when they get here. I mean, two New York contests I went to, both were the same way. They made them pay for their own tickets and half their hotel rooms. And then, of course, they didn't pay for anything else. And then for the prize, everybody had to put up $500, and whoever won. Yeah, I'm thinking, what kind of... Anyway, we're not going to get into that because I asked them to send me home. But they actually raised the bar for everybody else, which is good because, I mean, you won. So now you're like, yeah, I won. Writers of the Future, kiss my you-know-what. I'll be polite and won't say the real word on air, but I mean, all right, that's taking a little far, but still, I mean, it is different. It's definitely different. It's a higher thing, and I've noticed when I talk to different friends of mine, different authors or different people working in the book industry, as soon as I say, oh, I'll go visit L. Ron Hubbard, Writers of the Future. Oh, really? Oh man, they really do some good work over there. They're really putting out some good writers. And they appreciate this because it's like picking and choosing. So instead of them having to pick and choose, well, of course, Writers of the Future is doing it for them. They're bringing up all these writers. I mean, since I've been with them, let me see, 12, 24, 36, 72 writers and 72 illustrators, not including judges and other people that have been around that I have personally met. It's 150 I've released just in 5 years. And that, well, we had a W, so it's a little more than that. But being released into society, and people are getting to know who you are. I mean, your books are going to Barnes and Nobles and Books and Millions. They're autographed. People are actually going, well, wait a minute now. And they're getting to read the stories, and they're going, hey, this guy's good. This girl's good. I'm going to be looking for their work, which before nobody was looking for your work except, people that had known you. Now people are actually honestly looking for your work. And when they see it, they're going to buy it. That makes it a little easier for you. Doesn't make it any easier. It makes it a little easier. I want to see all y'all succeed, really. Andrew, I'd love to see you have a movie on the screen or a TV series.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to go that way. I mean, there's other ways to go, but and just recently, I was thinking about all you winners yesterday because a friend of mine sent me this new thing for audiobooks. They got a whole now. These aren't going to have all the fancy bells and whistles like the ones John and them put out, but these are just straight audiobooks. Somebody's really good voices reading through. Because a lot of us like me, I need an audiobook. I don't have time to read anymore. Even though I did sit down and read Kevin Anderson's book the other day, which we're going to give away on this show, by the way, tonight. But this way, I mean, you have the option of both. There's a whole crowd out there like me living in this crazy, insane, busy world today that does not have the time to read. And I notice every time I hear about audiobooks, all they're doing is growing, 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 and growing. So eventually they're going to start giving regular books a hard time because there are lazy people like me that I'm doing something like just this morning. I was listening to an audiobook this morning because I was too busy on the computer. Popped it into the stereo and listened into stereo. Matter of fact, I started re-listening Mission Earth the other day. That's how much I enjoyed it the first time. So it's easier on me like that. So for people like you, there's going to be a lot of different ways to do it now, which is nice, of course. We're not going to mention that AI word, but they'll be out there in the future. So all of this is coming up. So it should, I don't want to say it should make it easier, but I'm hoping it makes it easier for you to get out there and sell books. I want to see all y'all sell thousands of books.
I want the last couple of weeks, this is last year's, and this is this year's. We won 3 international book awards. This one here, I mean, volume 42, best science fiction, best fantasy on International Book Award, and then this one here, we just got the best anthology, and it's great because like we're it's not that we're spoiled by it because we work hard to make it happen, but we always win book awards, gold medals for our books. And the stories are great. We just got another review that came in for this one here, great review, and talked about how much they loved Butter Side Down, that story from Cal M, the girl winner from Malaysia. Love that story. So I wrote to her and said, hey, someone just loved it. And so she's still working away at, making it. And so we just, we're always trying to like give everybody that opportunity. And that's something that was originally the intention behind L. Ron Hubbard starting this career, was to give that opportunity. And we really tried to follow through with his purpose for starting this thing here. And that's what I've been doing. Now this year's number 42. And I haven't started doing the publicity for it yet, but this will be the year we break 1,000 winners. So it's pretty amazing. There's nothing that's done this much for science fiction and fantasy than what L. Ron Hubbard created back in 1983 when he launched this contest. So, it's just, the design, the style, the artwork, everything in them is just is second to none. So that's why we were able to get so many great awards and such awesome reviews. And the books sell, and they just keep on selling. And the authors continue to well because people know that, okay, good. So Andrew Jackson was in Rise of the Future Volume 41. So I need to keep up with Andrew Jackson because he's already made that cut, because it's known out there that Rise of the Future is blind judge. So it's not because you paid off somebody. It's not because you're somebody's cousin or nephew or husband or wife. It's because
send Joe $1 million, he'll get you in. That's it.
Wow. Yeah, I like that about the contest.
Like the trump card. Send me $1 million, I'll get you in. No, people, it doesn't work that way. I'm just teasing, but y'all can try. You can try sending me $1 million. I'll talk to John. Him and I split it. Doesn't mean you're going to get in there, but we might go do some shopping. I'm sure Emily would appreciate it if we took her shopping. What's that, Phil? No, I was just thinking about that. Since I've been knowing John, their international winners have been up each year. Seems to be going up. What are y'all, like a third now of your winners? Maybe a little more than that, or international?
Yeah, this last year we had 5. The year before it was 8. So 8 was a third of the winners, and this year at 5 of that. So it's maybe
So y'all hear that, ladies and gentlemen, because we noticed the international show, so y'all can win. Submit and win. Yeah, and submit some country I ain't never heard of.
I gotta see. Joni said that we have 2 new countries this. I don't have what they are yet. She said there's 2 new countries this year. So that's exciting to be able to announce that, because we've been at 50 countries for a couple of years. Now it's going to push us up to 52, which I will announce as soon as we announce the end of this quarter. I think they're both illustrators. But what's great is because of the show and the podcast, we're reaching like 120, 140 countries. And this contest is open to anybody, who's not professional. So it's free to enter. So there's no, what would be, a problem for somebody who doesn't have money to be able to make copies and submit it over the mail. You can just upload it, and it's free to do that. You just can't be professionally published. So we've got people from over 175 countries entering the contest. And because it's judged blind, it's strictly based upon the art, because the judges have no idea where you're from when they look at the art or the story. So it's just on how good it is. And if you've looked at the art in the various books, it's just all over the place. It's not like it's all Disney or it's all Marvel. It's just, you got some Chinese, you got some Middle East, you've got some, Latin America. You got all over the place in terms of the type of art. And so it's great. It's just
so guys, because I know we're getting close. So I've got 2 books left. Now, John sent me 10 the other day. For some reason, somebody, when I was sending them this, already has a copy of this one. So we're going to give this one away. This is it. Now, if you tell me who this, do what? No, we're going to wait until we go into the next show, because we're going to have a different name, but then I'll tell you what we're asking. And this one, of course, you wouldn't be getting this one, but it's not autographed. This is Kevin J. Anderson. So we're going to be giving this one away too. Normally, I don't give away books that I get from authors myself, but I forgot to have him autograph it, so y'all will get lucky and get it yourself. And then next week, I'll be giving away, I got one book I found from Writers of the Future. It's a couple of years old, and I've got one from Bill Forte we'll be giving away as well. So I love giving away books. I can't help myself.
You do.
Books and all kind of ways. And we do give a lot of books away. All of the books went last week. The Mission Earth books, people were fighting over, maybe because they're freaking this thick. I don't know what it is. Joe, you got any more? You got any more? No. We were on chat after this show, a matter of fact. I had one left, so I gave it away in the chat. That's all I heard the rest of the night.
Earth or Battlefield Earth?
Battlefield Earth. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me see. I got it in the thing. Yeah.
There's one right behind you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, there it is right there. Okay, because it hasn't went out yet. So they were fighting over this one. This one goes out. Probably it'll go out tomorrow or the next day. But then they're all gone. They went really fast. And every now and then I find some books somewhere, like I'll stuff the case behind. Like a couple weeks ago, I found a case behind my bed from 4 years back. They just, because my office gets like, so I had to put them wherever I can put them. Or sometimes the wife likes to clean house. You got to watch her when she gets loose with stuff. She just puts stuff places. As a matter of fact, the other day I found a case of water. I'm like, where'd this come from? It's that 10-year water, for hurricanes and stuff. But anyway, so we're going to give this one away in the next hour, because we're going to ask a question. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll give it away now. So if you can tell me the story that Mr. Andrew Jackson wrote, we're going to do caller number, we'll do 17. If you can tell me what's the story he wrote, I'll give you this book.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, you can't cheat. You can't cheat. And this one we'll give away in the next hour. And we'll give away books. We give a lot of stuff away. And what do you mean? Yeah, it cost me a small fortune to ship books some years. Some years are worse than others. Actually, since Uncle Humpty got in office, sending books seemed to be a little cheaper for some reason. So we're not gonna hate on anybody about that.
I wanted to say
the story he wrote. No,
What do you want to say?
Go ahead.
I forgot to mention I was actually just publishing something else on Friday. So yesterday I was published in this Intergalactic Rejects, which is edited by,
You got to send me that, man. What kind of bullshit is this? You can't tease me, man. Oh my God, man!
Congratulations, that's great.
Thank you.
So when you get a couple of them, send me one. It'll go right here. It'll stay here until Christmas, till I decide to give it away. So you'll get all that free publicity that whole entire time. So anybody, there's none right now. Well, there's a Howling Good Stories by Wolf, but that's my own personal book.
Yeah.
They get up here. Anytime I get a book from somebody, they sit up here, they sit up there until we give them away. But when there are new books coming in that we know somebody just wrote, they sit right there. And I put them right there so people can see them because my big ugly face is in the way. And then, Bob guards them. So
There we go.
he likes to keep an eye on them. But really, you get one, send it to me. I'll put it up there. It can stay up there. We'll give it away at Christmas time. We'll make sure you get lots of press because people start asking me, oh, what's the new book? What's the new book? What's the new book? And I'll just tell them. And what's funny, I do 5 shows a week, 5 different shows. And 2 of those shows are 4-hour shows. So like the one following, this one's 3.5 hours. So they'll start asking. It's not like just this show. It's going to be on any show that I'm on or any show that I'm guesting on 60 shows over the next 3 months. It'll be on all of those as well.
That's good. I'll be back in about 2 minutes.
So anything that's back there stays up there until, like I said, until Christmas. We usually give stuff away at Christmas time. Lightsabers. Last 2-3 years we gave away lightsabers to the tune of, I don't know, like 40 grand. The damn things are expensive. The first year the guy he sent us 38 of them. Well, he didn't send it to us. He sent us what he was going to give away. The Kylo Ren ones are $1,100. I'm like, for a lightsaber? He's like, yeah, for a lightsaber. And he lives in your neck of the woods. Well, he lives in England. I don't want to say in your neck of the woods, but he lives in England. Britt, Bobby, if you're listening tonight, look, I want to see Winters. He's in Britain. I want to see Winters in Ireland, Scotland. Well, because of my descendancy, I'm British, Irish, and Scottish. Someone they say Welsh too, but I don't know. That's And then there's some Italian that got thrown in there somewhere. But I'm 40% British, Italian, and Irish. That's my descent. And I'm about 38% Italian, or 36% Italian. Yeah. No, I don't look like any of that.
Right.
When you meet my family, they're redhead and green eyed, so they look like they're from the island somewhere. Oh yeah, man, there's no doubt. You're like, where are you from? Well, take a look at them, and you might figure it out pretty quickly. It's but no, that's good. You got a new book up. I always like seeing stuff like that. I love stuff like that. Anything that says Galactic on, I'm gonna probably read. Or I do have an old school reader in the house. You put it's about this big, and you put the book on it, and it flips the pages and it reads. It has a little bar that comes. It's not the best voice. It's better than Microsoft Sam, but it's not the best voice in the world. But they're getting better and better every year. And some of the stuff you can use online is pretty good. They'll read a book pretty clearly. But John spoiled me with Battlefield Earth and Mission Earth. They got all the bells and whistles and blowing shit up. And you name it, there's something going on in those books. Actually, if you ever get time to, Mission Earth's hard because it's 44 hours. So it's like, you got. I just listened to it like 4 hours a day. Yeah, I was listening to it like 4 or 5 hours a day. Anytime I was in the studio working or driving, I put it on, and I listened to it that way. And Jim Mescalin does one of the evil guy's voices. It is getting hilarious, is what it is. He does it all the way to book 8, and then they go on his families, and there's a lot of good people in it, a lot of good special effects, and a lot of fun to listen to. So books like when they get big enough, you can do that because that just opens up more readers or more listeners for you. What is that, Christopher? Ebooks? Almost all books are ebooks now. I mean, I can't say all books are, but almost all books are. Usually when
it's very useful.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, a lot of my friends only read on their readers now. They all have different kinds now, but to my wife, if it ain't a real book, she don't want it. Don't bother it. Don't buy it for me. She is hardcore old school, and if she can get a hardcover, she prefers that. She's just old school. I remember when I bought her Anne Rice. She said, I want the hardcover. I said, baby, you know how much a hardcover Anne Rice costs?
Yeah.
And this is we're talking when it first came out. I'm like, baby, I'm gonna have to put up one of the kids for adoption or for sale or something. I said, it's not a cheap book. And it wasn't a little book. The damn thing was like this long and this wide. I was like, Jesus. Looked like a spell book or something. Well, that's cool. You got a new book out. You can start marketing that, start making some money. I mean, is that what you want to do for a living? You want to be an author? I mean, just outright? I mean, I don't know what you do for a living, but I mean, it's
Oh, of course, absolutely. Yeah, this one's another anthology, so it's I'm in here with I think Kevin J. Anderson and Robert J. Sawyer in here as well. So some of the
well,
judges.
that's even better, man. That's it. That's good authors that go in there. You know, I got to say, most of those authors, when I first met them, the first year I met everybody was the year after COVID. And so they did a dual year. They had 2 sets of winners. And I remember meeting all these judges. They were a little standoff because they didn't know who I was. You know, it was my first year there, and I'm pressed. When people see me, I'm not wearing anything that says press, but when people see me, and I'm usually dressed pretty nice, but still, you know, John's already told everybody what I'm there for. So a lot of times I'd walk up to talk to them, and they were kind of like, but after 2 years, they got to know me pretty good. They're all pretty open about what they talk about, which is kind of nice. I learned a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff I can't put into publish, but still, there's a lot of good stuff I learned. It gives me a lot I start understanding their personalities better. You know, it's like with Tim Powers. I didn't understand about the Caribbean movies. I didn't realize he wrote A Stranger Tide, and basically the film company gave him the finger to you know what. So that was interesting in itself. And you know, you learn stuff like that as you're going along. So I actually went and found Stranger Tide so I could read it because I had watched most of the Caribbean movies. I'm not a ginormous fan, but you know, still. Fantasy for me is a little harder than sci-fi for some reason. I guess it's different for everybody. It's okay. I'm trying to bring our other guest in, but I can't find out where I'm at. Oh, there I am. It's but I just enjoy it. But and if it's near now sci-fi, you know, like within 100 to 500 years, I like it more. Something that gives me, you know, Star Trek was great, but Star Trek. Look, you Star Trek fans, don't write me, right, Andrew? Okay, don't write me. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm still a fan of Star Trek. I didn't find it to be the end all of sci-fi. I guess what I'm trying to say. It was a great series. It's a little unrealistic for that short a time period, only 300 years from now. But I don't know. I just thought it was. I mean, I like it, and I like the concept of where they're going with it, and but still, it seems a little weird for a race like ours. Now, Babylon 5 was a little bit different because they were a little more closer to what we are today. You know, anarchists basically is what they are. It's still that kind of fun. So, John, so you're safe down there in LA? I was talking to some friends of mine today. They said it's still pretty rough down there.
Yeah, it's chilled a little bit, but
Andrew said you can come stay with him.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Come on over.
No,
man.
it's I mean, right now there's a parade. I'm not sure what it is out in front of me because right behind me is Highway Boulevard. But it's crazy. They had the Dodgers game Friday night where they were blocking I-8 people coming in there, and there's lots of animosity. It's just, you know, you got the Democrats versus Republican. California makes a big stink about, you know, if some Republican says blue, then they're going to say red. It doesn't matter anything.
Yeah,
else.
they can't help themselves. See, I'd be on your roof with one of them tear gas beanbag guns. I'd be able to fall. Then I'd let my alligators loose. So I keep telling John, I will come up there with 8 or 9 alligators, load them up in a truck, and just let them loose in the street. We'll put them on chains in front of the place. I guarantee you, there ain't nobody going by there. They'll be like, "Oh, we're going the other way. We're going to take the long way around." It's funny, but I worry about y'all because I got a lot. You know, I got a lot of friends in Los Angeles. Matter of fact, most of them are in Las Vegas right now.
Yeah, a lot of people are leaving.
Yeah, they all went to go hang out in Las Vegas, and Carrie and her husband was telling me today, "I want to go back to LA. It's so hot here." I was like, "Get in your car and drive." No, I ain't going back. I was like, yeah, because it is a lot cooler in LA than it is in Vegas. But it's just strange. the whole world seems to be strange right now. I might move to England and go hang out with Andrew. He looks like he's a fun guy to hang out with. It's
Well, in October,
like
I'm going
it.
to be in Frankfurt, so hopefully we're going to be able to set up and do some meetings also in London, some business meetings, publishing meetings after Frankfurt Book Fair, and then we're going to set up and have a dinner, whatever. I mean, I keep on thinking, okay, I will just go to London, and it's like, for me, yeah, well, just, well, you're in Los Angeles, so we can just all get together, but not realizing that it's 1,000 square miles you're talking about there. So yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll just meet here in LA, and like LA County goes, I mean, when you fly into Los Angeles, you're flying over homes a half hour out, and it's all as you come in, it's like,
yeah, it's
wow,
a big spread out county, that's for sure.
Yeah.
so big. So, when I had a couple of years ago, we had a pizza dinner, and it was fish. We went and had fish and chips, and some people coming in, they had to, they took a train in. They were like traveling. Some of them just spent the night at a hotel nearby because it was so far out. They were just, okay, well, England's so small compared to what we have here, but it's still it's a lot of travel. I think of nothing. I mean, a short hop is a half an hour, to go someplace. You wouldn't think, if I, to go out and meet somebody for a dinner or a lunch or something like that, it's not unheard of to drive for half an hour to meet with them.
Well, that's your boy. I wanted to meet when we were in LA after the gala. Him and I had talked, and we got to talk, and he said, well, you can drive over. And I looked at how far away it was. I'm like, dude, I got a car, right? I'm here. I'm here visiting. He's like, damn, really? I'm like, yeah. And he's like halfway on that side of the freaking planet, man. I was like, no. LA, it's a stretched out county. Reminds me of Atlanta and a few other places. It's got an oversized surrounding area, which probably where half the population lives, but still, it's definitely interesting.
Yeah.
But I like LA. I mean, people always tell me horror stories about LA. And I mean, I've been going there since I was in the Navy 40 something years ago. And really and truly, I don't seem to have those kind of issues. It's now and said somebody's going to have to go try to be irritating, but, and I am kind of ugly, scary kind of guy. So people tend to leave me alone, but still, I warn people all the time, if you're going to go, always go with somebody. I give them the same one about LA as I do New Orleans and Chicago and New York and DC. Don't travel alone.
Yeah, don't travel alone. And it's unfortunate. The drug scene is pretty bad here. Maybe it's that way everywhere, but it's really bad here in Hollywood and Los Angeles with the fentanyl. It's, it's just, it gets so downplayed. So downplayed because, you get all this stuff like the various things that you hear about. So this is terrible. The different things. But then fentanyl's been responsible for hundreds of thousands of deaths in the United States for the last, couple of years. And you kind of go, wow, there's no comparison. It's the worst by such a different orders of magnitude. And it gets downplayed because it's such, I mean, somebody's making a lot of money on fentanyl.
Somebody's making a ton of money. But they just busted some ring out there for supplying people to protest. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
and I mean, I don't know what they're going to do about it, but still. But I like LA. I tell people you should go. Don't believe all the BS. Just be careful. I mean, it's like the United States isn't that dangerous. You just use common sense is, I guess, the best way to tell people. Just use a little common sense when you're traveling around the country. Same thing if you're traveling overseas. Just use some sense. Some places are dangerous. If you look at a place and it looks really dangerous, guess what? It's probably dangerous. Don't go there.
Exactly.
Go somewhere else. Where is our other guest? I'm playing around like I don't have nothing to do. Come on,
Andy. So for you right now, it's your 11:15 at night. Is this still your normal waking hours?
Yeah. For now, I work Sunday mornings. Not too early, so I'm okay for the moment. Yeah, I'm not usually in bed at the moment, but I'm a bit of a night owl anyway.
Okay, good.
It's like our Friday night hosts. They all work daytimes. Most of them get up at 5:30, and that show we run till 1 in the morning on that show. So it's tough. And for the East Coasters, it's 2 a.m. You know, they're kind of like, okay, I think I need to go to bed now. You don't want your host to run out of steam on air, but it happens, and it's part of it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's got sent off to that. So
So one thing I'm curious about, Andrew, is now you read up one of the one Hubbard stories we sent to everybody. It was what, typewriter?
Yes, that was
Typewriter in the Sky, because that's Tim Power's favorite Hubbard story. What was your take on that story?
I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. It was, I think just the structure of it was very different. I mean, the character in it was sort of being controlled by the writer, and that's not something you see too often. I really enjoyed, watching a story form while the character is aware that he's in a story.
Yeah.
That was great, and experiencing a rewrite halfway through, I thought it was a really, really clever story and a lot of fun as well.
Yeah, it was at the time a lot of the authors, like Jim Butcher just wrote to me this morning saying he's going to do a review of the book too, which he'll in a couple months. He's finishing a book right now, and then he'll do it. But it's one of those stories that's several levels, because the author is Horace Hackett, so it's already, the author is a hack writer, and how he doesn't do his research, and then, but he also has to sometimes, because I've interviewed a lot of authors, and some of them say like they write a story and all of a sudden the character starts going off in a different direction. You think, okay, we're going to do this, and this.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden that he's walking on the street, then the character walks into the movie theater, like, whoa, what's happening here now? And so it's kind of like, it's taking on that, and then just that famous last line, God in a bathrobe, just the whole idea of being a character, like even Shakespeare when that stuff, like, we're all just actors, we're all just characters in the play. That whole thing there, just what is the big picture, and what's the senior deity, like as an author you are the god, the deity for your story, you're the one,
life and death.
you've got that's what you've got there. So the whole thing of that was storytelling anyway. So there's a lot of great authors back in the day that just extolled many of their virtues upon that story, saying it was such a good story. And Mike Resnick said it was like the first one that started in the genre called recursive science fiction. That was like, that's what started that subgenre of science fiction. And anyway, so it's definitely a lot of fun. And so if it's funny where sometimes many of from other authors too, but you've got stories that were written back there in the 40s and 50s, and then other people currently will say, oh yeah, you ripped off, and they'll name some author from the 70s or 80s or 90s or the early 2000s, said, no, that was written 50 years before your story. And they go, oh. Or sometimes I'll get somebody who'll make those types of comments, not realizing that these are the ones that actually started and created, these storylines, these types of stories in the first place. And that's, I think, what's really good about Rise of the Future is that, we track you, and we'll see, the type of story that you're writing in a half a dozen years or so will be a new trend in science fiction or fantasy. It's just like steampunk was first done in Rise of the Future half a dozen years before it became like a genre that people really wanted to get, or the uploading the consciousness into the computers. That was like 10, 15 years before that became a thing in science fiction. And so you're the writers that are going to be, whoever's going to be reading in 5, 10 years from now, right? You just keep on working at it and keep on, submitting and writing, and then, it will go. And so I think it's something that's very cool. It's just seeing how that happens, that you're going to be creating what people will be reading down the road. And then at some point, you're going to be those shoulders that the next generation of writers are going to be standing on, as you are on top of the people that were inspiring to you.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
that is
Heather, where are you hiding at?
very honourable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very humbling and very exciting to be part of that. Think of it that way. It really is.
Yeah. No, but that's what it is. It's just, and that's why you find the judges so interested in helping you, and they don't look at you as being a student anymore. You're now, they treat you as a peer now, because you've won the contest, so you're professional. So now they're willing to give you some of their hard-won secrets that they've learned through the years as professionals. So, okay, we welcome you into the ranks. And so it's a bit of a different scene than just going and seeing them at a convention.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It's definitely strange.
Yeah.
But y'all, and by the way, y'all are the best advertisement for L. Ron Hubbard's Writers Future and Illustrated Future than anything they do. I mean, when people hear y'all talk or hear one of these archives, and there's lots of these archives, we circulate a lot of them around. So most winners get on 3 or 4 times, and they get distributed across different places. I mean, hell, you're even being seen in North Korea. I mean, yeah, that's what I said. It's funny. A friend of mine asked me about that today. Joe, why aren't they knocking on your door? I'm like, for what? He said, you listen in North Korea. I said, they know I'm not, no reason to knock on my door. You'd be wasting your time and money knocking on my door. Carrie Lynn, no, Heather's joined. Well, I think Heather's joined. I sent her an invite a few minutes ago. About 10 minutes ago, actually. It's, yes. No, Andrew's married, smart ass. They married with like 25 kids. Okay, yes. Well, they want you, and when you're in England, they want you to have lots of kids. Lots, like, 50 per family and shit. All right, all my British friends, don't write to me. I'm just teasing. Don't even start writing to me. I'm just teasing. I can just see it and say, what did Joe just say? What did I say? No, I was teasing. Yeah, they're like Americans as far as how many kids they have. Yes. For some reason, the free world is breeding themselves out. I'm not sure why. Maybe it's a sci-fi novel.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a sci-fi novel to me. I got probably 3 or 4 novels in my head, but I can't write. That's the problem. Oh no, I've actually talked to people, showed them stories and all, but I can't. There's somewhere. It's not right here, but somewhere in this office is a book outlining 3 stories: 1 fiction and 2 science and 2 non-fiction. No, 1 non-fiction and 2 fiction. Yes, I know. They're just sitting here for somebody to write them because I can't write. I've tried. I've actually managed to get 80,000 words written hanging out with Jonathan, but I can't. It's jibber jabber. Yeah, it's jibber jabber, man. When I go back and read it, it's jibber jabber. Who? Who? What do you mean? What co-host are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Carmen. No, John was out of town. He's just a visitor. Yeah, he does all the guest booking for the show. Yeah, so we figured we'd let him have a little fame for a change. He actually came in on a bad day. Yeah, we had some kind of really weird computer glitch that day. He did a good job. We lost audio and the mics and the headpieces went out. Don't ask me. This for sure. We've had 3. This show has had no problem since it aired 2 years ago, and all of a sudden, the last 3 shows we've had consistent problems with. No, I'm having a talk with StreamYard tomorrow about this other little glitch we've been having. I don't know what it is.
In, right?
Yeah, I sent her an invite twice.
I'm calling her right now.
She's probably out there going, shh. You know how she says she's bad, man.
No, she's not.
You know who we need to introduce him to? I need to come over. Where's our boy at? Where's he in Wales right now? Someone know where's he at over there? Poland or something?
Joel.
We got a friend over there who's very bad. Why can't I can't even think of his name? Oh Lord, him and I got in all kind of trouble partying together. Yeah, well, actually, it was him. So we went out and we brought. There was 3 Brits won that year, so we brought them out drinking with us. And it was Chris. So he was from Australia. I was from New Orleans, and they all were from England. And we all 5 went out drinking. And once I went up to the bartender because I was buying the first round of drinks. And I went up to the bartender and said, I'm from New Orleans. Oh, we talked. And then I told everybody else we didn't pay for drinks the rest of the night. And I mean, they kept them coming too the whole time. We had to send someone
hard
back
to keep
to
up with the British from drinking, certainly.
Hey, they tried. They tried to keep up. I mean, I'm from New Orleans, man. New Orleans is a full-fledged bunch of alcoholics live there. So yeah, our bars are open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So they believe in drinking there. And your boy was from Ozzy. He was just he was insane to start. I called him Mr. Blue Eyes because he couldn't come the first year he won. He had to come the second year, and he was insane. Yes, I remember Emily seeing us coming in, and we said no, we were just going to breakfast. Emily, she looked at both of us like, I will kick your ass. It's like, no, really, we're going to breakfast. She had breakfast my ass. I said, no, we're going to go get
Australian.
Yeah, he could drink. He couldn't drink as much as I could, but he could drink. He was funny. We got in, like I said, like 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock.
Okay, so Heather said she never got the invite link.
What the hell's going on with this thing? That's twice I sent it. I'll send it to her again. I'm gonna have to slap Karma. He must be giving me bad emails.
Okay, so remember, I had to get a new one. So CC me on that so I can text it to her as well.
Yeah, you can send it. You can send it to the last one I sent you will work. Not that first one. I don't know what the hell that was. Peter. What? No, don't send me stupid stuff like that, Marcus. Andrew said he's selling his books for $1,500 a book. Yes. And if you want to autograph, it's $2,500 a book. Yes.
I'm not complaining, but
I'm gonna get you some money, man. It's I remember I was with a friend of mine. He was doing a contract with this company, and he was getting ready to tell the guy the price, and he had already told me what he was going to ask for. So the guys looked up at the guy, and said, "No, we want this." And he looked at me like 3 times the price he had. He looked at me like, "Joe, you're going to cost me this job." The guy gave him the job. Was all happy because he thought he was getting a deal. He said, "Well, how did you know that?" I said, "Because the guy is rich as God. You go too cheap, he ain't going to give you the job." And you know what? Rich people are funny like that. If you go too cheap, they don't get
what you pay for is a definite datum.
Yeah, well, it's just, it's part of it. Because I remember when I first got in the radio, I was all giving stuff away free or charging $1, and people were, "Oh, we don't want that. That's probably bad material." I started charging 16, and "Oh yeah, well, we'll buy that." Whatever. I'll never understand.
She'll be coming in now because I sent her the link.
So we got time. We're not in a big hurry. Yeah, Peter. I was telling Andrew about Altered Carbon earlier. You mean out of which one's my favorite? Expanse or Altered Carbon? I like the Expanse better because it was 6 seasons. Oh yeah, Altered Carbon would be great if they would have stretched it out. If they'd have stretched it out a few more seasons. And I mean, who was the last actor? Captain America was the last actor. The Black Captain America.
Yeah, they changed actors, didn't they?
Yeah. So he did a great job. I mean, ladies, if you want to see what he looked like naked, well, just telling y'all, I had my eyes like this the whole time. It was, there was a lot of comic. Damn, I can't even talk anymore. There was a lot of laughing going on in it. There was a lot of serious stuff in it, and there was a lot of like, oh my God, what was that?
I'm not into that kind of stuff at all. I won't.
It's no, John, you don't need it. You'd be embarrassed if you watch it. Don't let Emily watch it either.
Just at degradation of society.
It is kind of. I mean, it is really when you watch it. It's kind of like
celebration.
It really is all the bad parts of society. It really is. I see Aunt Heather right there.
Oh, there we go.
Heather.
Hello.
Is this Heather?
Hello.
Does she have a face?
No, she don't have a face.
Oh no.
She says, "I don't have a face." The face monster got her. Yes, the face mask. Don't
Anyway,
feel bad. A lot of times I don't have a face either, so don't feel. Some days I'm like, face? No, I ain't got no face. Get out of here. I don't know what you're talking about, people.
Face
So
got stolen. I don't have it anymore.
how you been? Everything's been good. You home.
Yeah, it's been good. Busy.
Did you
Have
finish?
you made
Did you finish college?
Yes, graduated a few weeks ago now.
Well, that's pretty cool. But you're going to be going back though to at least to Atlanta. Do you live there, or do you live way out in like East Minnesota and have to go back there for going to Dragon Con?
No, I'm still living in Savannah. I like it here.
Yeah.
Oh, you're in a good place, man. I like Savannah.
Yeah.
Other than the hot and the bugs and the humidity, but still,
Yeah.
it's a pretty city. No, I mean, really and truly, I give it trouble, but it's a very beautiful city. Majestic oaks, old homes all over the place. I spent a lot of time down there when I was younger, and I really thoroughly enjoy. And you know what? For an author, it's probably a good city. It's got a little character to it. It's not just plain Jane city. It's not a huge city, but it's not a plain Jane city. Have you ever been down to the Keys in Florida?
I have not.
No, you should go down there and spend some time and sit in Hemingway's chair. Yeah, they were going to try to charge people to sit in Hemingway's chair. I was like, get out of here, man. You can't charge people to sit in his chair. So they charge them to go in the house. It's just as bad. But it's when you walk into place, and I'm not an author by any means, but when you walk in, you get this sense of something was there. It's just different. When you get up by his desk and all, you can feel that there was something going on. It's just, I guess, like a presence left behind might be a better way of describing it. So what you got going on? You got something new going on, or you just behaving, taking it easy, or?
It's a lot of the same kind of thing I've been doing. Doing work for conventions. I started working on a little indie game with a group of people, doing some concept art for that. But yeah, a lot of just the same kind of thing, continuing to create.
Now, this is the story that Heather Ann Lee illustrated, and that's her art. And we showed this at the beginning of when Andrew, because she was the illustrator for Andrew's story. Andrew's the author for her art.
Just most interesting.
Yeah.
So,
it's gorgeous. Yeah.
how was it when you guys first met each other? When you was it the art reveal when you first met each other, or was it you're out doing a hike somewhere, all of a sudden Heather Ann just bumped into you and went, "Who are you? I'm an author. What did you write?" "Oh, I wrote this." "Oh, I illustrated it." How was it your first introduction to each other?
Yeah, it was the art reveal where we met. So yeah, initially I think we spoke briefly on Discord beforehand, but that was it. So I just came in and I kept getting drawn back to the artwork. Wow, it's this, isn't it? It really is. And I turned around and she was there. Yeah.
So what was it from your perspective, Heather Ann, when you were there and you're waiting to see if he could find it or if he would see it or anything like that? Did you have any trepidation?
Yes, they had like all the authors came in and we were just kind of like waiting on the sidelines. I was so worried that he wasn't gonna like recognize the piece. But it ended up working out.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that every year, but so far, there's 5 years, 6 with all the winners, and so far everybody seems to have it right on. And the first year they brought me there, there was 24 of them. I knew for sure someone, because when they were telling me, I think Maliva was telling me about what was going on, because I didn't know anything at the time. And I was like, what? Oh, they're not, no way. And every one of them recognized it. I was like, what the hell? Is there some voodoo going on up in this place or something? But it is so fun to watch. I mean, crying, tears, hugs. I mean, it's just it's one of those things I wish there was a way to put it out to the whole world, because it's something that people are missing. It shows a different part of us as a society that really people just don't get to see.
Right.
It's a shame, but and it is. I mean, I get to see it, so I think it's fabulous. But and all y'all get to see it, which is also fabulous. But I'm always worried that somebody's not going to recognize something.
Yeah.
But so far, they've been right on the money. I don't know how y'all do it. I guess
Well, good art.
the
We have
authors
great
look. The
artists
authors
and-
are like, the artists are really good. So that
yeah,
the author's like, oh, that's mine for sure. And,
yeah, they recognize it. Now, Heather, you just graduated from one of the top art schools in the United States. And then you also were 2 months ago, you're here in Hollywood for the Illustrator workshop. How did your little week interlude, how did that compare to your, working there at the SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design? So a little bit of perspective on that, because we're also want people are here that they need to enter the contest. So a little bit about like what it was like here as compared to what you were doing there also at the art school.
Yeah, I thought SCAD was pretty intense with the kind of like schedule and workload, but definitely while I was there, it was a whole other level. Learned a lot, but was very busy. And also just getting like I've said it again and again, but meeting everyone was just something like completely different and incredible.
Yeah. What are the things that you kind of like that stick in your mind now, 2 months later from that week?
The portfolio reviews were some of the I honestly was one of like the biggest moments.
Yeah.
Getting these super crazy industry professionals to look at my work, getting their feedback, and sorry about my dog. He feels like he needs to chime in too.
Well, don't feel bad. Mine, I always think they should be on air with me. John will tell you my Chihuahuas think they're host.
Exactly.
Yes, they do. So I wouldn't worry about the puppies. You could draw one of mine, though. They're kind of scary looking.
So then, so the portfolio reviews, and then any particular of the judges. I know that everybody after Irvin Rodriguez did his hour-long briefing, then just the queue was like everybody lined up behind me because I was setting up to have a lunch with him, and everybody's behind me, to talk with him some more.
Yeah.
That's okay. You can talk over your dog. We're not.
Yeah, we don't mind. We like baby dogs up in here.
I'm
We
sorry.
do.
My roommate just got home and he is very excited. But yeah, Irvin Rodriguez, just such an incredible illustrator. Leave it, Bubba.
Yeah.
We all didn't want to let him go.
I know, that was funny.
Leave it.
So, oh wait, you going to be at Dragon Con?
Yes.
Yes, I was thinking of being in Savannah. You're not that far away, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, we're gonna see her again in Dragon Con, so we're excited about that.
yeah, I think I'm 5 or 6 hours. I can't remember, but if I drive, if I decide to take a flight, it's like you don't even get time to level off. It's like, ooh, you're up in the, ooh, you landed now. It's actually Houston's the same way when we fly there. It's a nice drive. I enjoy driving it. It's not really that bad.
So now, Andrew,
Most of
when
it's
you
scenic.
saw the art, so what was it about the art to you that was like the most either like, wow, I didn't see this that way, or like what she saw was way better than what I had visioned, or any type of reaction like that for you?
Well, I immediately saw which scene from the story it was, and that was the thing that stood out to me. It was like I was thinking like how her process would be if like when she read the story and she had to pick like a certain part to illustrate, and I thought, well, that is the scene. It's sort of where they come out into the rain and they see these like awful creatures for the real sort of first, not the first time, but in the most sort of striking moment with the lightning coming down, and it was it was stunning to see that. Really, it was
Is that how you envision the creatures?
so I hadn't really, obviously I didn't picture them exactly the same way Heather did, but I think it's almost 100. It is almost 100% right. I think from what I saw, she took everything I said and really made it work. Um, it was it was quite wonderful to see it come to life like that. One thing I always thought is she had my characters down perfectly as well. The three characters standing there, she got every detail I put in to their appearance, and like that was just them to me. That's how it was. Yeah, I still can't look at that without getting chills.
Yeah.
It's a great picture. When I've seen it, I was like,
Oh, yeah.
I always like seeing them. So this year, like a dummy that I am, John had sent me the book, and I thought they were all in black and white. And I was like, damn, I can't wait to see them in color. Needless to say, all I had to do was flip up about 3 pages. Just ignore my dumbness there. And the bad part is somehow I skipped them because I was reading the book. So somehow, and I guess because I had a
Bookmark.
book marker in there. So I guess I was just going back to the book marker. But when I seen them, I was like, wow, there was some fabulous artwork in there this year. I really, truly enjoyed it. It's such a nice thing to see all of y'all do this. And what's weird for me is when I meet the illustrators, they're anywhere from 17 or 16 actually up to 34 to 40. The illustrators always seem to be a little younger than the authors, but man, to see that much talent coming out of young people is amazing to me. Because today it's hard to stay focused. So we live in a busy, crazy world, and to see people sit down and do that, to take the time that, because I know it's not just, okay, let me pencil it out and I'm ready to go. I know it's actually quite a bit more work. And I'm just glad to see y'all out there doing it, because I'm a big fan of arts. I'm a big fan of everything, really. When it comes to illustrators, authors, I like good stories. I like good art. So it's one of the reasons I like coming out there, because y'all have so many talented people come out there. And of course, the judges are fabulous. So you had any favorite judges? Heather, it's for you. You had any favorite judges?
Favorite judges. I mean, Echo is lovely.
Echo rocks, man.
He's so cool. Really, I don't know if I can pick favorites. Everyone was so nice.
Well, I've asked this question a lot of times. Sorry, guys. See, there goes mine. My alarm system going off. I've asked this question many times to many artists over the years, and some of them will pick out a particular person, like who was doing the story, the one that y'all went and seen, and he was kind of a little on the crazy side. Some people picked out him. Generally, though, to be honest with you, it's either Echo or DeSantis.
Larry Elmore usually gets a lot of love.
Yeah, Larry gets a lot. I think Larry gets it because they just love Larry. But usually that's who I hear the most of. Every now and then I hear somebody like Tom Wood or something like that on the side, which, I'm personal friends with Tom, so I don't want to hate on it. It's, Tom and Echo and I have hung out quite a bit. And they're really good people, really. That's, something else. And y'all can comment on this if you want, but when I've met these judges, I was pleasantly surprised by their character. I was expecting, how can I say this, a little bit more egotistical, arrogant SOBs, and that's not what I found. I was very, very impressed with that, because, when I go to these places, famous people sometimes, let's just see, can be a little bit on the arrogant side. There's just none of that there, not with the illustrators, not with the judges. And some of these judges got some pretty big books and some movies to their claim, and still just as nice as could be. But I was liking what Andrew said earlier. I like the little confrontation sometimes. My first year I was there was Todd McCaffrey and what's his name?
Dean Wesley Smith.
Yeah, Dean Wesley Smith. And he didn't always agree. That was great. It was great, because if you were sitting in that class, because when I go sit in the class, I sit in the class like y'all, like I'm a student. That's how I do it. Unless John and Emily are around, then I'm messing with them. But when I seen this, I was like, wow. And then I realized they just gave the class 2 different versions that actually work. That was impressive. And I've seen the authors, and I've seen Tim Powers and Jody and I do this a couple of times, and they work. So it gives y'all some, because we're not all cookie cutter. I mean, not all of us are the same kind of people. And to see them do that, because that's a dangerous thing. I mean, that could turn into something it doesn't though. It works really well. And
No,
and Tim Powers is great anyway. He's a freaking hilarious. I told him last time. I said, you missed your calling, man. You should have been a comedian. You might be richer. But he's a lot. They're just a lot of fun to deal with. And of course, the illustrated judges are the same way. Matter of fact, the very first year I met Echo, she was laying on a thing, posing. She was trying to show the girls. Where were we, John? We were at the Roosevelt. We was in some back room. We had to open some books to get in there. And she's laying across this. And I'm like, who the hell is this? And I walked up and said, who are you? She said, I'm the boss. I'm saying, oh, really? Are you? I said, nice to meet you, boss. Because she's all trying to show them how. And at the time, I think she had a hurt ankle or a hurt leg or something. And she was trying to show them how to do it. The fact that she even took the time to do that was impressive. But after that, after she got everything set up, because that's one of the courses y'all are doing, she walked around person to person to person to person to make sure that they were doing it correctly, or if they needed help with what she was looking for, she was there. That's impressive. She could have just sat up on the stage and watched y'all do it.
Yeah.
She didn't have to go around checking on it. But I got to give her credit for that. I got to give all the judges credit. I mean, like I said, when I first went there, I expected, actually the first 2 years I went there, I really expected to see a bunch of egotistical judges, and that's not what we got. Matter of fact, I was expecting other people to be egotistical.
I mean, we picked the judges, and we picked them because they have a proven track record of helping and like to be able to help. And we meet with them and talk with them and follow their careers and see what's happening on them to see if they're going to be a good fit with this, because we have a specific thing that we look for, which is somebody that wants to be able to help and isn't like that, isn't egotistical. They're like about the art and supporting the art and helping these new talents move up the ranks to join them. And so none of our judges see the winners as competition. They see them as, fellow teammates. And then, when you got people like Heather Ann, and Andrew, you just got like, the future's in good hands, which is what this contest is about, which is why, Owen Hubbard created, was to put forth, the future for the genre. And it's interesting too. I've said it before with, because we've got several of our illustrator judges are past winners, but Brittany Jackson, because she was the grand prize winner, volume 24. I think.
Are you talking about my girlfriend B?
Yeah.
That's
like,
my
what do you
woman.
remember most about, the essays that you read from Owen Hubbard on art? And she said, well, it's the quality of communication. That's what I try to imbue in all my art is it's got to communicate. So anything for you, Heather Ann, that like stood out from like any of the essays, or any of the stuff from what you did there? Because I know that there was a few people who came and talked to some about the communication aspect of art.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing about like both art and like illustration and writing, or just art in general. It's all about how you communicate your ideas to the world. It's how you interpret your experiences. It's all about communication in one way or another. I think that's the kind of core of what art is.
For sure. So how's your future rolling out for you right now, Heather Ann? You're like, is what you're doing now a temporary thing, or do you have like jobs lined up, or are you just kind of like taking the different things that come your way and then seeing how they open up to other ventures?
Yeah, it's a lot of just kind of taking things as they come. I am working for myself at the moment, so I'm creating my own projects. I just finished a dragon playing card deck that I'm working on getting produced.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, bring your dragon stuff with you when you go to Dragon Con, because I'll introduce you to the guy that runs the art show. Mm-hmm. We had a couple of years ago, we had Joe, what's the name of our dragon artist? April Sullivan. I introduced her to him, and so last year her dragon was the art for the blood drive, and so
she's
it went
a gifted dragon drawer, that's for sure.
Oh, she's amazing.
Yeah,
but it went, so they had like 3,000 t-shirts made, with her art on it that was given to anybody that donated blood. Then got a T-shirt with her on it. It wasn't a paid thing, but it really got her name out there big time.
Yeah.
So bring your
Well-
dragon stuff so I can introduce you to the blood show. To
Well,
the blood
who won this year that April talked into submitting? Oh, now she went out right out of my head.
It was the girl, the winner from
See, people, what happens when you get older, your brain
Haley
puts to work
Enriquez.
here. Yeah.
Haley.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it was Haley. We just had her on, last week? Oh, man. See,
Yeah,
my brain's
yeah.
going fast. You see my guard dog? Look at her. You can't even see her. She's mixed in with my shirt. Say hi. I will kill you. All of my 5-pound self. Okay, you got to get in. You got to get. It's so weird when she'll come up here and fall asleep, and she'll open her eyes with the white side. People, it freaks them out. Like, what? You got a demon on you? I said, no, I got a dog. She's just as black as night. We actually have glow-in-the-dark shirts for her at night when we're walking around the house. I know we're getting close, but yeah, it's very talented. I had talked with April and Tom and Larry a while back. We wanted to do a little contest, and eventually we'll get around to it. We needed 6 people to do it. Three winners and 3 judges. So I'm waiting on to see who we're going to get the next winner. But there's a lot of talented people out there. You get a lot of stuff going. April's another one I like to pick on too, because she's how can we say this? Very outgoing. There we go. That's a nice way to say it. And she's definitely she thinks what she wants to think. But I like people like that. You know, if you're going to get ahead in the world, you got to kind of stand up for yourself. So, or have someone that stands up for you, one or the other.
You know, she's definitely outspoken, stands up for herself.
Yeah, well, it's tough in today's world. Janine, what are you talking about? You mean me? Nah. You know what? The chat comes on in half an hour. You can ask me that question then. Yeah, it's not for this show. No, because that's long and boring. Took lots of steps and changes. Yes, it was long and boring. We'll leave it at that. Denise, most of us will be at Dragon Con. Andrew's wife said if he goes to Dragon Con, he would only have 1 foot when he came back. So I'm not sure what that means. I guess we're not going to see him.
Unfortunately,
no, guys. He lives in Chris. He lives in England. It's not like he's around the corner or something. I mean, even in the United States, if you're out in LA, Dragon Con's on the other side of the country. It's not exactly a little country. And if you're in England, I mean, you got a whole pond between us and a pretty big one at that. It's yeah, I've seen those flights. I'm not, no, what are you, crazy? Yeah, okay, anyway. See, these are rich people talking right now. Oh, just take the business class round trip. Yeah, that's like $4,000. Yeah, you keep that. Oh, man. It's definitely expensive. So wait, so you need to do a good book so Heather's got something to do with herself. We don't want to get bored. Bored hands get you in trouble. We don't want none of that happening.
Yeah, Joe's living proof of that.
Yes, Joe is living proof of that. Joe can find trouble in the church. So let's just. I think I'm banned from like 100 churches now, anyway. So we don't want to talk about that though. Pete, that is FanX, and that is in Utah. Actually, he does 4 of them, right, John? He does FanX, Tampa, and what's the other 2?
I'll be going to San Diego Comic-Con in the end of July, and then there's going to be
no, they were asking about Mr. Cartoon Jacket. Doesn't he do four of these a year? I mean, doesn't he own 4 of them? Or am I getting him confused with somebody else?
He's got another show in that's Dan Farr. Yeah, so he's got Tampa Comic Con. He's got another show in Atlanta Comic Con, which is a different time of the year from Dragon Con. Then he's got, I think, in Ohio, someplace in Columbus or something like that. And then he's got FanX in Salt Lake.
Yeah, because I was just asked about some New Orleans con if I wanted to come. And I was like, and what am I getting out of this? Well, you get to come for free. I'm like, I said, that's not enough, dude. You're going to
get a man who arrives at feature table. So that'd be great.
He goes that way. Hey, maybe we'll. I got to call him back. I haven't had a chance to call him back. I got to find out. It's probably in my email somewhere. But there's a lot of stuff going on. There's lots of places. As long as you got material, guys, there's places to sell them today. Just 10 years ago, there wasn't. There was, the paranormal and ufology conferences were ruling, and that was your big thing. Now we've got the Comic-Cons back, and they seem to be doing pretty well. I mean, Dragon Con's a lot. It's big. It's a lot of work. I always tell people start exercising about 3 months before you go, because there's a lot of walking involved. And it's not just walking around in the hotels. There's a lot of up and down hills walking as well. What do you mean, Chris? No, I'm getting an Uber. I'm getting old, man. I'm going to have an Uber me up and down the hill. What are you talking about? I said, so in Atlanta, they do GPS Uber, in case y'all didn't know that. So if you're in Atlanta and you're doing Dragon Con, doesn't matter where you are, Uber will do you GPS. They'll pick the GPS off your phone and come find you at the spot. They'll even deliver you a pizza on the side of the road, because I had them do that. Yes, it's a lot of fun too. John and I is going to be there. Heather's going to be there. There's a bunch of other people going to be there. I'm pretty sure April's going to be there. I know last time we had talked, there's like 8 or 10 of the writers and illustrators that are going to be there, plus all the other stuff that goes on. I know some of the judges are going to be there with their own tables. It's insane. Come have some fun. You don't have to come for all 3 days or all 4 days. I mean, it's
4 days.
I think it's $125 a day if you're coming on your own. And if you buy all 4, it's actually cheaper. But look, go for what you want. So we look at what's going on there and find out the things you want. So everybody's going to the shopping part no matter what, because they got so much stuff there to look at. You're going to buy something. And then it's whatever else that you want to look at. Because, and people, Dragon Con is not, I close at 8 o'clock. Dragon Con is 24 hours, or 22 and a half hours, I guess we'll say. But yes, they go to the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
So for all you late day sleepers, you can still go hanging out to the wee hours. There's just all kinds. You can go see John doing all kind of stuff. He'll be talking to all kind of people. Who? Never heard of him. Never heard of him. No, he'll have the boss lady with him. She'll be running around. One of my favorite Munchkins will be there. We're not going to mention her name, because if I call her Munchkin and her name, I'll be in trouble. So we're not going to mention her name. Sarah. Did I say that out loud? No, she's a sweetie pie. Actually, the one I pick on the most, somebody asked me this just the other day, and if I have to be honest, it's Maliva. Yes, I pick on her far more than anybody else. One of these days, she's going to smack me in the head with a camera. I can see it. She works. Real quick before I let them talk again, real quick, when I first met Maliva, I had no idea what she did. I thought she was just a camera girl. I didn't know even near what she was. It took me 3 years to find out what she was wrapped up in with Writers of the Future. Oh yeah, the girl's got her fingers in every damn thing, and so I have more respect for her now, but I still pick on her. I still pick on her. Hey, if I don't pick on you, it means I don't like you. So just know that coming in ahead of time. Heather, so we're going to see you at Dragon Con. We know you're coming up there. You're bringing some artwork with you?
Yeah, I'm gonna be in the art show. I have a whole bunch of stuff that I'm gonna be bringing, so super excited for that.
Yes, I hope you're making some money. I hope everybody buys it up. Andrew's going to be vacationing for a couple of months. He said he needs some rest after this trip to the United States. So was this your first time to the U.S., Andrew?
No, I'd come for, I think, beginning of 2020, right before the pandemic. I was in New York with some friends for about 3-4 days.
You were here for COVID, huh?
Just before it happened, yeah.
Yeah, okay, all right. Well, at least you got lucky then.
Was it vacation you were there for?
Yeah, it's just a sort of a spontaneous 4-day trip we did with about 4 of us. Went out there, four guys, just to.
So how'd you like New York?
Oh, I did, definitely. But it's much different to LA. It's much colder.
It's entirely different.
People
it's
are
colder. The people up there are retards. Oh, did I say that out loud? No, I didn't. New Yorkers are weird. LA people are weird, but they're not near as weird as New Yorkers are. Them people up there just lack of oxygen or something affects them. I have no idea. I've been up there quite a few times. I do a lot of lectures up there, and a lot of college lectures I don't know what to tell you. I love New Yorkers, but it's like they dropped a whole bunch of them on their heads or something. They're just a weird group. But they're a sane group. They don't go around rioting and stuff like that. So I got to give them credit for that. I always have fun when I go though. I mean, I really do, unless it's a something like I got into with some people because they were trying to lie to me. But other than that, I always have fun when I go. I usually go spend a weekend or a couple of days. I'm in DC a lot, so I end up in New York a lot. DC's like feels like it's 15 minutes from. So next time you go to New York, you need to go to Maryland and Boston and Salem and DC. It's all real close.
Yeah.
It's all within driving distance. It's Norfolk, Virginia. Now you don't need to go to Norfolk. Norfolk's just got a bunch of ships and it's kind of boring. So the town is boring.
Do you go to conventions there at all in London? Any of the London science fiction conventions or anything like that?
I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at. I know there's a World Fantasy one in Brighton, which I think is at the end of October. I was sort of toying with the idea of going to that. I've got a week off booked, so I might go check that out.
Yeah.
But
there's the London. I think it's called London Comic Con, but there's one that takes.
Oh, the Comic Con, yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to go to that. I've been before, but a long time ago. But that was just more of a.
Well, how does England actually accept these kind of things? I mean, these different conferences. I know you don't have as many people as we do. Well, okay, let me retract that statement. Britain don't have as many people as we do. The Commonwealth has more people than we do. Okay, I didn't want somebody writing to me. Somebody got on me about this the other say that because they said England has 2.8 billion people. I was like, what are you talking about? 2.8. I said, what are you talking? You couldn't even fit that many people on the island. What are you talking about? And then, of course, they went ahead and talked about, Canada and India and all the rest of the Commonwealth. It's like, okay, well, I'll give you that. But anyway, on the island itself, it just doesn't seem like they have all that many places that you could do too many of these Comic-Cons. I mean, I guess you could go to Europe with it, but I don't even really hear about it much in Europe. And I got a lot of friends over there.
The scene is much bigger in the US for these kind of things. Like Dragon Con, I don't think we have anything on that level over here, really.
And then Joburg has a science fiction convention down there in South Africa, which is getting bigger and bigger every year. So that one's growing. So they're trying to make themselves a big presence on science fiction and doing well. We've had booths there for the last several years, and it just gets bigger and bigger.
Everything's growing, but I know we got to get out of here because we're going to have people knocking on the door here in a second. Heather, any parting words before we go?
Where do we find you? Where do we find your work?
Yeah,
you can find me heatherly.art. It's both my Instagram and my portfolio. I'm also going to be doing, besides Dragon Con, I'm doing SuperCon in Miami, Tampa Bay Comic Con, Savannah Comic Con, and Anime Orlando. So I'll be at all those shows.
Oh, I didn't know Savannah had one.
Yeah, Savannah's got a couple of shows.
I'm going to have to look into that. I didn't know they had one. I'll have to look into it. I like going. Like I said, I like going to Savannah. It's something about the old city. It reminds me of like a mini version of New Orleans. I think that's why I like it. It does. It's got the same kind of feel. I don't know how to explain that. Christopher, they do have one in New Orleans. I forgot the name of it. I don't have any email or anything open right now, but
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, well, we got that too. Well, so people, if you come to New Orleans, we have a festival every weekend, 24 hours, 24 days, 365 days a year. There's a festival. New Orleans has every weekend has a festival. They're just retards about it. They got the Gumbo Festival. They got the Shrimp Festival. They got the Crawfish Festival. They got the Boudin Festival. They just keep on rolling and rolling. And then you get, all kind. And then when it gets close to Mardi Gras, it's just all kind of parties and ridiculous stuff. The town doesn't understand. All they do is eat and drink here. So if you don't like food or alcohol, don't come. Just stay away. But there's a lot of. I have not had a friend come here yet that did not gain weight before they left. I even tried to put some weight on Skinny John's butt when he was down here. There's a lot of good food here, but we got to get out here.
Andrew, where do we find you?
I was going to ask him. Go ahead.
At the moment it's author Andrew Jackson on Instagram. So I'm at the moment I'm busy promoting the recent release.
Absolutely, and rightly so.
So let me know when the new book's out or when it comes out, and get me a copy, and we'll get it advertised. We'll put it up here and start advertising on the different shows, because news on the flip side.
The new book here that everybody
Yes.
needs to check out. It's on.
Well, I advertise that book all the time. It's right there.
It's
It
available
stays
in
getting
Waterstones in the UK, as well as on the Amazon there in UK, and all over the US. It's there also in South Africa and Australia and New Zealand. Hubbard Presents Writers, features volume 41. An amazing story. It's already won the gold award in the on the National Fiction Book Award. So for an anthology, so it's already won its first gold. And last year's book too, just 2 weeks ago, won 2 golds as well in the International Book Award for Science Fiction and Fantasy. So you've got 2 amazing, incredible books that you can get with 12 new writers and 12 new illustrators in each of these books that you can find and discover your next favorite artists and authors.
Get out there, get out and buy some books. Look, we're in the middle of the year now. We're starting to get closer to Christmas. We're 170 some days away from Christmas. I'd have to ask Siri to be 100% sure, but we're getting close. So get out there, buy some books, buy some presents, hang around. We give away books all the time. So I don't know if we're going to give those away or not. That's up to the person who owns the thing. Any other questions before we go? Leave John alone. You know he's married. Y'all ask me that question like every third week. Y'all know he's married. What do you mean? Or if he's worth $100 million, I'm going to marry his ass. Y'all better just go on with yourselves. I'm just saying. You just take yourself one down the road. No, man. We got to go, guys and girls. I want to thank everyone for tuning into the Author's Quill on United Public Radio. I hope you enjoyed the show immensely. If you have any problems, any moans, or any bitches, please be sure to write to Michelle DeRoche, courtesy of Michelle DeRoche. Tell her John sent you. On that note, we'll see you in a half hour.